Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q. And if you have ever wondered if you can get a restaurant sear at home for only a couple $100, let me show you this Bighorn unit. See what we gonna do. This is my first cook right here. We got two Porterhouses from Omaha Steaks. I'm gonna show you how this thing gets down. I'm not gonna overtalk it. Let's get right to it. So these babies have been hanging out at least a half hour. Chilling with that little seasoning on there, they should be about ready to go. Slide you outside real quick. Late night, first cook. You see I brought my table in up under the cover because we're getting a little bit of rain. Last thing I want to do is let my baby get rained on for the first day. But we did set everything up. Sitting in there nice and clean, nice and crisp. First thing I'm going to do is you can see I brought over the 20-gallon tank over here. I already got it plugged up. I like that it's got that nice long cord so it doesn't have to be too close to this unit, which you know is going to give off a little bit of heat. We're going to try this automatic start and get this thing going. Pretty much it's just like any other gas grill or anything else. You're going to push the start, pretty much putting it right on high, and then I should be able to use this automatic light. Alright, I hear that. Part sounds like it's working. Let's see. Oh yeah, it always helps to turn the gas on first. And one thing I did notice was I'm so used to, let me get to the other side. Like on my old gas grill, this was actually a push button that you're pushing there. You don't have to push anything over here on this one. Once you actually turn it off of high and you go into this igniting high area, you'll hear the clicks automatically. So we just hold the button down. Woo! And there's our flame. So needless to say, make sure that doesn't stay lit for too long. And then we're going to give it a little bit of time and we should be able to see it turn nice and bright. There we go. Now I got my flame going up under there. First I was a little nervous because the last thing I wanted to do is I wasn't sure if I was supposed to see the flame the whole time. But once I actually held it for a couple seconds, you definitely heard and saw the flame kick out. So be careful that you don't got this thing sitting on and heat or gas coming out for too long, because that flame does bump out here a little bit. And I did see, so I also wouldn't put my face really close to here as I'm waiting to see if it's gonna light. I was off to the side, which is probably the best, as I turned the handle and went ahead and held it down. You're gonna hear it ignite. Hold it down for a second and then instantly you can start to feel that heat. So I'm gonna let this go ahead and come up to temp for a few minutes and I'll bring you back, because it didn't take long where you can start to see the smoke coming up off of here, where you can definitely see it's coming out the vents, and I have it kind of snuck over here and smelt it. I'm happy I went ahead and did this. I feel like I said, I'll look through, maybe I missed it. You usually always have to do a burn in or burn off, however you want to look at it. When you get a new unit, I mean, it's not going to hurt it. Give yourself the favor of letting it run one time. Let the machine and everything do the work. There's a lot of times a lot of machine, a lot of hands that's been in here. You want to get some of that stuff up out of here. Because like I said, the smell that's coming up out of here right now, it smells like that machine smell. It smells like things that need to go before I actually put my steak up in here and get that going. So I'm not worried. I'm going to let this thing burn off here. It's still at high, so I'll let it get maximum heat for at least a good 10 minutes or so. At this heat, it shouldn't take long for the inside components to get warmed up, get itself all cleaned up, as well as also give these grill and everything in this great little bit of seasoning. I know you're not supposed to put any type of spray stuff and nothing like that in here. So this is literally just the heat itself doing a job of getting all of the oil and machining type products and stuff like that up out of here. You can already start to see the reverberation of that light, that red light shooting down. So it's definitely getting up to temp. I'm gonna let this go for a bit and let it hang out on its own. Other than that, I'll see you in a minute. Just checking in about 5 minutes later. Stinks out here. Smells like almost like burnt rubber. Notice though that smoke is pretty much all calmed down. Not a whole lot coming out of here anymore. There's a little bit. I see. A little bit. Obviously you can see it's blazing hot now. So again, more of the reason why we do a quick burn. Just out of curiosity, I went and found my 800 or so degrees. See if I can beam it up there at that heat and see what this is. My hand's literally getting burnt. It says high, so it's hotter than it can register. It just gives you a high. So I was gonna say that lets you know it's pretty damn hot. It got over 900 degrees as far as where I was able to get it, and that was before I was able actually to get it directly on there, and then quickly it said no go. So things to keep in mind. Kids, keep them away from this machine. This baby is blazing hot. If it tells you it's hot, I know how this unit was, burning hot on top. And again, with the heat all going across the top, I can imagine that it's telling you for a reason. It is burning hot up here. But also keep in mind, it's pretty hot right in this area. Just me leaning my phone over here to kind of show that hot, I start feeling my fingers almost getting burnt, and I have a pretty strong tolerance for temperature with all the cooking that I do. So keep that in mind. Make sure you got plenty of room to work with. Make sure you don't got no dogs or nothing like that around, or no little ones, because that could probably be disastrous. And I would say when you're moving and you're taking things in and out, needless to say, you're definitely going to be using your handle, but also move quick. I'm going to let this go for another 5 minutes or so until I don't really smell anything out here before I throw them beautiful looking steaks on. All right, we ready to go. It's been another 5+ minutes. It don't stink out here, and now all of a sudden in the kitchen, the only thing I could smell was these steaks right here. That Omaha seasoning seems to be pretty solid. Definitely's got some good garlic notes and things like that in there. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work. Alright, so we're going to pull that out. I'm bringing over one of my longer handy dandy spatulas. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit that baby right there. You hear that? And I'm going to let it rock for about a minute on that top shelf by itself. And I'm going to put the friend, just like that, directly under it. We're going to watch this real time, because we can see that top taking all type of punishment. My thoughts is, you get about a minute, I should flip, I'll hit the other side, and then what I'll do is I'll turn around and then switch the two. Put the other one on top and let it get crispy. Alright. Been just about a minute. Let's pull it out. Look at that flame. It is hot, ladies and gentlemen. All right, crusted right up. 1 minute flat. That was pretty easy. See if I can get all this done with one hand without causing a mess. Flip. All right. All right. Side two. Push you right back in there. And we'll keep on talking while it's working. Take a knee. Now that's one thing to keep in mind as we dial this thing in. I'll eventually figure out I'm on the second shelf. If that's too close, I mean, you look, that flame is literally pretty much touching that. Maybe I end up going a little bit lower or something, especially knowing that I like my steak more medium, almost medium well. I'm pretty much a medium guy these days. So with that said, I'm gonna need a little more cook time than some people. Some can literally go get a char on both sides, pull that out, let it rest for a little bit, and they probably got it right where they want it. For me, being that I want it to cook a little longer, maybe if I leave it out there in that middle portion and just let it wait it all the way through, that might be the way to go. But we're gonna check it out. I'm gonna try it this way first, and maybe we'll leave that second one right there. But this one needs to get moved. There you go. 1 minute, and needless to say, I have got me some char. Okay, so not too hard to get some char. A little more char than I necessarily maybe even I want in some areas, but don't worry, I ain't too worried. It's gonna be perfect. Got me some good brownness over there. So like I said, maybe we'll try one row down. Let's flip them. Okay. So as you can see, what I did was I took the other one, flipped it back to the original side, and stuck it right down there at the lowest grate, directly up under this one. Now that that one's out the way, you can see you can get a good char even from down there. So that's kind of where I was saying, as I'm guessing and checking, and we're gonna figure out how it goes in the long run. Maybe kind of going from more of the middle rack might be a better move for me, allowing it to get more time. And you can see exactly when you get to about the right char and everything, instead of actually putting yourself in a position where you go at the top, you can come back out of there in 1 minute 30 seconds and pretty much already have yourself looking like this. I think also you got to keep in mind, knowing that you got to cook with such a high heat, this might lend itself to more simple seasoning, salt, pepper, something like that, or maybe even like a dry salt brine or something like that, which might then even make it even easier for me to be able to say, okay, I don't got no seasonings on top of here. Because if I had, you know, let's say if I did a big crunchy rub with a lot of big pieces of seasoning, that's a good looking crust right here. All of that would have got burnt up right now. You know what I mean? So just keeping that in mind, that might be something that I play with as we go. So I'm gonna flip. Oh, rough with it, huh? Okay, there is my raw side. Slide you right back in there. One thing that's kind of cool is you can keep on dripping right on that other steak. Take care of your friend. Both of y'all play nice together. Stack them up. And we do the same thing on this side. I like it. And team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know, thanks for following along on today's cook. And if you're new to the channel, go to that bottom right corner, make sure you subscribe, check out some of the other videos you've missed. If you haven't done it already, find me on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. And if you are interested in any of these Bighorn products you've been seeing me rocking with, make sure you check out the comments, use my code, and get you a little bit of savings. And make sure you go check them out at their website. But other than that, let's get back to this first cook. Couple minutes in, just checking. Just gonna show you what's going on. Like I said, much more calm. I like that personally. It's almost like when I cook on my Blackstone. A lot of people love cooking on high and you can't even barely breathe. I like keeping mine on low and being able to kind of move things around, see what's happening when it's happening, make adjustments as it goes. This is a good time where I can really see things happening, and like I said, give my insides a little time to also get themselves together. Hopefully get that crust be a little overall even. I like that this one's kind of working out a little smoother. That first one was instant burn, 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 here I come. This one is, as you can see, it's literally just boiling. All of that oil that was on there is just cooking and crisping up the top of that, pulling that moisture out of the steak. And also it's probably going to get me closer to where I want to be temperature wise, giving this a little bit of time. I like that. I also, like I said, I like the idea that I'm cooking a couple steaks, something like that. These are two decent sized ones, being Porterhouses. Being able to kind of stack them on top of each other, you're dripping down and giving it to your friend. Also protecting it from taking too much heat. But with that said, everybody's in the pool getting warmed up. Crust is starting to look good. I'm probably going to pull these up out of here. I'll take a quick temperature check, and then maybe we'll throw it in the oven in the skillet and let them finish out. Let's see what we got. And I also went ahead and turned the unit down to low. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Check that out. There go your friend down there. I'll bring him back up there. I'll let that top one get a little more love now. And we're going to see where we at. All right, we are switched around. Top's getting a little love. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And we doing real good. Look at that drip down fashion. We on to something, folks. Bighorn, I see you. And then obviously too, unfortunately, you finally start cooking on it. Here come my grease stains, and then you probably will see your stainless steel discolor a little bit. That's normal once the heat hits it. Unfortunate, because I love everything pretty, but it is what it is. Okay, got my plate. Let's pull this up off of here. Hello, beautiful. There's one. Needless to say, we got some cleaning to do. You want to get all that grease up out of here before you come back in here with round two. Otherwise, you can imagine a grease fire will be likely. Yeah. Let's take a peek at this one too. Now, temping my steak, now for most people that I know, they'd be like, dude, that's perfect. You're at 120, 130-ish. You got your crisp. They would let this hang out. Maybe it'll pump up another 5 degrees or so. And then they would be pretty much exactly where they want to be. For me, I usually like being a little closer to 150. Which I know a lot of people hate. Don't hate me. Just, hey, it is what it is, you know. I can feel that it's got a nice crust on there. Okay, this one, the smaller area is at 150. In the middle, yeah, that's where we're lacking. Same thing over here. You can see that your fillet is done, and then the New York strip a little lower, a little bit thicker cut of meat, a little more dense. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and finish these babies up. I might even be able to get away real low in here. Woohoo-wee! Look at that. We're going to get these up out of here. Like I said, I gave them a couple seconds longer at that bottom shelf. I don't want to overdo it, and I changed my mind. I don't want to put them in nowhere else, so I'm going to let these hang out in the microwave. I'm going to go ahead and turn this unit off, and we'll taste it. And while those steaks is hanging out, I am going to set up for the cleaning. Now, normally they're going to tell you to leave everything in here and don't touch it until everything has come down in temperature, because it is blazing hot. Duh, right? You just been playing around with over 1,000 degrees. Last thing you want to do is mess with these. However, I also know from many a moons of cooking, cleaning, and so on and so forth, things come off a hell of a lot easier when they hot versus when they get cold. So what I'm doing in there right now is running my dishwater, this hot soapy water, and what I'm about to do is take everything in there and I can let it go ahead and start soaking, and then after that, cleanup should be really easy. Wipe down the inside of the unit, and that way I make sure I don't have any grease or anything like that. But needless to say, make sure you continue to use your tray and everything, because you don't want to handle this unless you got like maybe a welder's glove or something like that. Even I can hear that stuff bubbling now, like it's still in there trying to cook, that grease and everything. And then I'll grab my welder's glove, of course, and then I'll grab out that last piece. And now that that's away, I mean, just kind of peeking at what the unit looked like. That don't make me feel too bad. I mean, obviously you get some grease splatter, right? I don't think we're supposed to be rubbing on that top too much, because that's where your actual heat is coming from. Needless to say, do not clean the inside of this unit out while it's hot. That's something I will wait on. But mainly, I just brought you back over here to show you there's really not that much. A little bit of a light rag, warm towel with some soapy water, a little bit in there. We can easily get us a quick wipe down, get that grease up out of here, wipe down these walls as well. And then obviously I got a little bit of splatter right here. I did have that tray here, so most of it got caught, but a little bit of drip off. But overall, it's not too much to put in work on. Also, to mental note to self, that bottom one wasn't as hot as the trays, being that the heat source comes from the top, and then you also had things in the middle. The bottom really didn't get as hot as I thought it might. Definitely warm. I would always still be careful, but it wasn't that bad. So there's that. We'll clean this baby up here later once things cool off a little bit. I'll go ahead and soak everything else. It's just about time to taste that steak. That's literally all I can smell. Alright, I am tired of waiting. Oh my gosh, these things smell so good. Look at the juice. You tell me these things ain't juicy. Oh, hold on, let me make sure I don't make a mess. juicy. Man, all right, we're gonna grab this one right here with that good crust on there. Pardon my reach. We're gonna come back for some of that, all that good juice, and let me see. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And now we will admire the crust for 2 seconds. Now let's cut this thing off the bone. Okay, get this bone up out of there. Let's sit to the side, because when y'all not around, I'm gonna do things to this bone. And let's cut up a little bit of this filet, and we'll cut up the New York strip as well. All right, we in the house now. You know, when it's all yours, you can do it just like this with your hands. You hear me? Look at that. You want to know if it's juicy. If you ask me, I think that's perfect. I guess there's only one thing we can do to really know. I didn't even bite that. I just pulled it away. You can see right there where I just pulled it away. Wow. Super juicy. Cutting board's moist. Meat still moist. Hands is moist. All of that beautiful steak juice that I'm about to pour over here in a second when I get this on my actual plate. You see that? Wow. Okay. That's the filet. And I had already tasted this as I was getting rid of some of the fat and everything and kind of cleaning it up. Now, let's get into the New York strip. Let's pull out one of these nice meaty pieces. Once again, I really feel like I got bad angles, unfortunately. It's late, I apologize, but man, I'm doing it no justice as far as showing you how juicy, there we go, how moist. Look at that. How moist this thing is, right? Good char. For science, I'm gonna eat this other piece. Just for science, though. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I have glowing reviews for my first time going through with this old Bighorn infrared 1500 degree steak searing unit master. Let me tell you, that thing knocked it out. We did it real time. You were able to see within 2 minutes. I was able to get my crust the way I wanted it. Truthfully, for me personally, knowing that I like my steak a little more done, I think that middle rack is going to be the perfect place for me. I love that drip down, and overall, I love the flavor. I'm curious if anybody out here has ever used a unit like this that gets up this hot. Maybe I shouldn't have put oil on it. I got to do some more research, but one way or another, my steaks came out slamming. The unit performed greatly. I got to get some more propane, and I'm going to look forward to doing some more cooks on here. You let me know what you think I should go with next. Shouts out to my people at Bighorn, my boys at Black Smoke Barbecue, my family, and you. I appreciate you.